China has issued strong warnings to countries that align with the United States on trade policies. These threats include retaliatory measures against any nation that sides with the United States in the ongoing trade disputes. This escalation stems from the ongoing trade war, where the United States has imposed significant tariffs on Chinese exports. The United States justifies these tariffs by citing significant trade imbalances, intellectual property violations, and national security concerns. China views these actions as weaponizing trade and undermining the international economic order. Chinese officials have repeatedly stated that U.S. actions violate World Trade Organization principles. These threats have already impacted financial markets globally, including significant declines in cryptocurrency values and stock market volatility. China is escalating its response with rapidly increasing tariffs on U.S. goods. In early April 2025, China announced an additional 34% tariff on all U.S. goods. Later in April, China raised tariffs to 125%, stating it would no longer respond to U.S. tariff hikes with proportional measures. These retaliatory measures come in the context of a significant trade imbalance between the two nations that has existed for years. Beyond tariffs, China is employing various non-tariff measures to exert pressure on the U.S. economy. These include restricting Hollywood imports, suspending exports of critical minerals like rare earth elements, placing American firms on an unreliable entity list, and returning Boeing jets while restricting aircraft part imports. In response to China's actions, the United States is expected to reimpose tariffs exceeding 60% on direct Chinese exports, potentially escalating the trade conflict further. This trade conflict continues to escalate, with both nations taking increasingly aggressive economic measures that impact not only their bilateral relations, but the global economic landscape. U.S. allies are facing significant diplomatic pressure from China regarding their alignment with American tech export controls, security alliances, and trade agreements. China's broad retaliatory stance could significantly impact global trade, particularly affecting developing economies that depend on exports to both China and the United States. There's a growing trend toward developing China-free supply chains as companies seek to protect their industries from potential disruptions linked to escalating geopolitical tensions. The trade war is likely to expand into other policy areas, complicating mutual concerns. However, despite increasing tensions, cooperation may continue in critical areas such as climate change, public health, and certain security issues. The economic impact of these trade frictions will be felt by both nations. For the U.S., estimates suggest retaliatory actions could result in hundreds of thousands of job losses and higher prices for consumers. Meanwhile, China faces increased pressure on its domestic economy, which may accelerate certain economic reforms. Looking to the future, experts anticipate both Republican and Democratic administrations in the U.S. will maintain a tough-on-China stance. We're likely to see increasing economic competition in emerging markets and a strategic recalibration of multinational business models.